Imagine a world where even the thought of leaving your bed could trigger a severe panic attack. Surely a fiction and impossible living condition, you retort. Actually, many people with agoraphobia experience this very terror. Hello, I'm Asher, and I can really relate. Can you? Has an irrational fear dreaded your life traumatized you or a close friend or a family member? The definition of an irrational fear is a phobia, which is a persistent, excessive, unrealistic fear of an object, person, animal, activity, or situation. It is a type of anxiety disorder. A person with a phobia either tries to avoid the thing that triggers the fear or endures it with great anxiety and distress. The word phobia comes from the Greek phobos, meaning fear or morbid fear. The regular system for naming specific phobias is a prefix based on a Greek word for the object of the fear, plus the suffix, phobia. I have had a personal experience with a minor phobia, Bigfoot phobia, but don't rush to look it up. You probably won't find an index catalog of irrational fears. When I was about 4, I watched a documentary on Bigfoot with my father. In this documentary, a crew of people tried to track down the elusive Bigfoot, which is a 10-foot tall, hairy-like ape who walked upright. In one of the scenes, Bigfoot peered through a window and saw a sleeping boy. I was petrified and convinced this would happen to me. It had a profound impact on my life, and I only got over it when I was 9. I was afraid to venture out into the dark alone because I believed Bigfoot would get me. I tried not to go out alone because I thought Bigfoot would be lurking in the corner, ready to snatch me into his hairy fists, which from release would be impossible. What has resulted due to these fears? I've never really had to go outside by myself in the dark, but if there were an emergency, I wouldn't be able to because of my irrational fear. The reason I was scared of Bigfoot, well, they described him as a big, hairy, bone-crushing, mean monster. They said he was around 10 feet tall and smelled horrible. Why wouldn't I be terrified? I watched all the movies and TV shows I could about Bigfoot. That big, sharp-toothed, hairy, mangy monster. Many other people have extreme irrational fears worse than mine, like agoraphobia, which I mentioned earlier. Some irrational fears are claustrophobia, fear of confined spaces, which means some individuals are afraid of small rooms. Thalassosphobia, fear of the ocean, and arachnophobia, fear of spiders. People with these extreme cases of phobias or other irrational fears should be taken extremely seriously. The conditions destroy healthy lives. In extreme cases, these fears are debilitating because people aren't able to function. Let's take another look at agoraphobia. With this extreme fear, people can't leave any area outside their comfort zone without having extreme panic attacks. It got so bad that I couldn't leave my front room. I would sit in my house with my newborn baby, calling my partner 15 to 20 times a day. Panicking, I felt trapped, explained one woman who had agoraphobia. In another case, an individual had to wear a rope tied around his waist and anchored to the railing inside his own house because he was afraid of flying off the face of the earth. This is obviously an extreme mental illness that should be taken very seriously. My phobia is rare, but other common phobias are fear of heights, fear of spiders, fear of small spaces. I think everybody has an irrational fear. Other people, what are yours? I tried to avoid mine. By not going out in the dark. I rationalized this by saying Bigfoot couldn't hurt me in the light. In retrospect, this made no sense and just goes to show you how irrational phobias are. I don't believe there was a name for my basis fear of Bigfoot, but there should be. Most people have an irrational fear, but they don't admit it. They sit there and live with it, avoiding it and never telling anybody. Do you have one? Would you be willing to share it? They do this out of fear of being ostracized by their peers. It could be terrified of small spaces or being afraid of computers. It could paralyze your daily life. I never told my friends about mine. This was because I was afraid of being ostracized too. One time I was playing hide and seek with my friends and there was a really good spot. But I didn't go there because I dread the arrival of Bigfoot. Another time it affected me was when I went outside to get something and heard a noise. It wasn't a big noise, but I flew into my house and didn't go out for the rest of the night. My fear affected me in the little ways a lot, and I overcame mine, and you can too. A phobia is an irrational fear. People everywhere have phobias. Some phobias can be debilitating, and others can be just minor. Look around you. Look around you. You may know someone with a phobia. In conclusion, a phobia can be a real problem. There is much we can do about them. But if you know anyone with a phobia, don't laugh at them and instead reassure and comfort them. If you have a phobia, don't be afraid to talk to someone about it, whether it be a parent or a friend or in some cases a therapist. Human connection can be just what you need to help lessen or get over your phobia. Thank you.